Welcome back to Outdoors Type and welcome to Tailem Bend. You know, as I drove east along the highway for my last video, I passed through a whole series of small towns dotted along the highway. These towns played an important role in supporting the first intercolonial railway and then further supporting the development of the region. So I thought I'd come back and have a bit of a look at the infrastructure that's left in these towns. We're here in Tailem Bend and we're going to head across the plains to Bordertown and then to Serviceton. The station here behind me was built in 1913 to the style of Alfred McBain Bonython, and you'll see examples of this architecture right across the state. While the Overland doesn't stop here anymore, the Overland passenger train being the only passenger train to service the route, it still stops at Bordertown. Bordertown still has an intermodal facility, although really it's just a crane and a big patch of dirt. Pretty much all traffic along this line rushes through bound for Adelaide, Melbourne or Perth. There's still some grain trains which stop here at Tailem Bend and at Wolseley. We'll go and see what remains of the infrastructure there. We'll even head over to Serviceton to check out what remains there and explain a little bit about the importance of that stopping place to the whole story of this line. So while this is still an active railway line, we're not here to go train spotting. Let's dig a little deeper and fly a little higher as we explore the Adelaide to Wolseley line between Tailem Bend and Serviceton.
Including Tailem Bend, the section of the Wolseley line we're about to explore had 16 stations and sidings. They were Tailem Bend, Cook Plains, Kumanduk, Yamali, Kaikai, Canalpin, Culburra, Tintinara, Camorna, Coombe, Banyala, Keith, Brimbago, Wirriga, Cannabagara, Bordertown, Wolseley and Serviceton. Today the route is mainly served by interstate freight services. Intrastate grain freight services from the Loxton and Pinaroo lines ended in 2015. Grain trains from Tailem Bend and Wolseley do still run from time to time. Journey Beyond's the Overland is the only non-suburban passenger train and stops at Murray Bridge and Bordertown. Let's go exploring.
Well, there's not a lot happening here in Cook's Plains. Coomanduk is near the edge of the vast mallee scrub, which stretches from Western Victoria over here to the southeast of South Australia. A station at Coomanduk wasn't included in the original 1886 extension, but one was provided in 1912. The original station was replaced some years later with a boring old brick building, which probably thankfully closed in 1990. Would anyone like to buy a thriving country general store? Digging up things here on Outdoors Type, and this is an unusual thing that I haven't seen before. Welcome to Canalpin, and you can see the remains of the platform and the good crane behind me. This station opened in 1886 along with the rest of the line, and closed in 1999 when Great Southern Rail changed the timetable of the Overland to skip most of the stations in the region. The grain silos are no longer served by rail, and fun fact, in 2017 the grain silos became South Australia's first silo art. Let's keep on exploring. Tintinara Station opened in 1886, and it too was closed in 1999. It now serves as the Heart of the Park's Visitor Information Centre. The goods shed is still here, although it's a men's shed now. We're going to go for a bit of a look around. We are lucky enough to be standing in the old signals room of the Tintinara Station, part of the restored station building that now is the Heart of the Park's Information Centre. There's some great friendly volunteers here to show you around, and there's some excellent memorabilia here in this room which will give you excellent background into the history of the railways around this area. Let's go for a bit more of an explore. It says press me, so I did. To Keith, classic Aussie country. Welcome to Bordertown. We are 280 kilometres from Adelaide and we are nearly at the border with Victoria. This Benithan design station, recognise the architecture, you'll see them right across the state of South Australia. And this building is now abandoned and a bit run down, but the Overland passenger train still stops here a few times a week. We'll have a look around the outside of the building and the platform and show you the modern day intermodal facility established in 2019 for the transport of containerised logs to export markets. Thanks for sticking with me this far. We're nearly there. Stick around and enjoy. Well, we're back in Wolseley again, exploring the old Adelaide to Wolseley line, essentially the intercolonial connection. Here in Wolseley is also where the Mount Gambier line was connected to the Adelaide to Melbourne line in 1883, and in 1887 this line was extended through to Serviceton in Victoria, creating the first intercolonial rail link 50 years before any of the other colonies in Australia. So this place was a very busy transshipment point between the narrow gauge line of the Mount Gambier line and the broad gauge of the Adelaide to Melbourne line. The line was standardised in 1995, cutting off the Mount Gambier line and leaving us with the line arrangements that we have today. Let's have a bit of a look around Wolseley. Well, we've made it to Serviceton, and thanks for sticking with me this far. This has been a video about South Australian railways, so why are we in Victoria? Serviceton was an important changeover point for the South Australian Railways and Victorian Railways crews, and it was an important customs point way back in the day when South Australia and Victoria were separate colonies. This station had a nearly 100-year history before it closed in 1986. Nowadays the station is, the station area is a shadow of its former self. There were engine sheds closed in the 50s, there were crew barracks, and what you can see of the building, three-storey building behind me, is as big as it is, just a small part of what was once here. We're going to go for a bit of an explore around this grand old building in the middle of nowhere, so stick with me for the last few moments and enjoy. Well, that's it folks for the Tailem Bend to Wolseley or Serviceton Railway Line Explore. If you did like the video, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you then.